everybody. Welcome back to Sprueverse, my scale model universe. People of Earth, welcome to part 9/10 of Build the 1350 refit from Polar Lights. Redux. Yep. Well, the never-ending journey continues. I've been really slow posting videos, and I apologize. I do have a very silly excuse for all of that. August is birthday month here at Sprueverse for the great Phil Siegel. So I have been doing a little traveling and taking a little time off. Well-deserved, I might add, says me. But I am, and I've got a little more stuff that I'm doing, so I'm really sort of struggling to get videos out, but not at the expense of rushing this thing of beauty and getting it to its final stages. So just to sort of let you know where we are. All the elements are basically finished. There might be some little touching up and a few tiny decals. These things here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We all know these little red squares. They are apparently supposed to be on most of the raised surfaces. Now there's little triangles as well, and there's some other doohickeys and doodads, and they are really time consuming to get on because obviously they don't have a lot of gluing surface, and they dry out very, very quickly. So you've really got to be sure that you have a way to get them down. Obviously I'm using my Microsol and Microset. I would recommend these two products with the decals that come with the kit. If you're using a third-party decal that did not come with this kit, you need to experiment. There's all kinds of decal setting solutions on the market, and some guys and girls even make their own. So you have to go with what you think works for you and works best. But I can tell you from having played with an awful lot of the Polar Lights decal sheets is they disintegrate very, very quickly. You've got to be very careful with them, especially when you're using a finish coat of varnish, to lock them in. Certainly let them dry for several days before you try to hit them with any kind of spray. In my sort of travels through the world of decals, I found that they're still a little moist and they're still trying to do their thing. And they don't, even though they look dry, they're not set. So sometimes I give them 24 hours, I look at them, and if it still feels like it could do with a little, just a little tiny brushing of Microset, I'll do that. If it's something that's laying over an uneven surface, obviously you want your Sol, your red one, to let it suck down. But it can't suck down if it has no way to get under the decal. And so, usually when you're using your Sol, it's because there's grooves or some way for the Sol to get under the decal. Sometimes I've used a very, 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 very sharp number 11 X-Acto blade and just carefully prick the surface of the decal to let some of the Sol soak under it. But again, this is not a tutorial on decals, and I caution each and every one of you. Test the solutions you're using on the various different decals before you go crazy, because I, from experience, have had a lot of pain and suffering using various different solutions on the decals that come with the kits. It can really do some bad things to them. So make sure you're testing. And then, of course, if you're using a bonder, bizarrely, the good old-fashioned Testors bonder, decal bonder, the 9200, the one that is elusive, impossible to find, if you find it, grab a few cans and send me one, because it's not easy to find. For whatever reason, that bonder likes every decal, and it doesn't seem to shrink, shrivel, or damage anything. And you know, and of course you can't find it anymore. So at least I can't here in California. You might have a different story somewhere else. And if you find that your local hobby store has a couple of cases of them, drop me a line and let me know. And you tell them Phil Siegel's going to buy out all of their inventory, because I love that stuff. Okay, so quickly down to brass tacks here. Let's dive in here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my saucer put in place here, and those wires will come through the opening in my neck, and obviously they'll come out of the front here, and then everything has to be tied together before I drop down to the to the lower pole and get everything hooked up to the to the base. Now, these openings here, let me pull out a stick to show you. These, make sure your pin, I guess they're pin locators for lack of a better word. Make sure these pin locators are clean. In fact, down to plastic. Also, make sure that the surface here, and there is a slight indent on both sides where you see the holes, there's an indent. Make sure that indent is clean, full of paint. There's no paint on it. It has to be plastic to plastic, because when you go to install your saucer, that is the entirety of the sort of tensile strength. That neck is held in place by those locator pins and that gluing surface. That is it. Now, this saucer is quite heavy, and you might be looking at me and going, Phil, give me a break. A little bit of epoxy on that thing, leave it 24 hours and it's rock solid, it's not going anywhere. Maybe. But I can tell you from experience, and all of you guys know this, is a lot of glues are attaching themselves to the painted surface. Paint lifts, you don't have a good bond. Now, I know all of you know this, and it's 101. And for those of you who are rolling your eyes, forgive me, but there's some of us out there, like me, who are knuckleheads and think, oh, this is just a small area, it's not going to get a lot of stress or strain or whatever. And trust me, a knock, moving it on a shelf or whatever, and it pops, and you go, son of a biscuit, why did I do that? Why? Because I was lazy and I wasn't thinking. So, maybe I'm the only one out there, and that's okay, but I'm copying to it, and I'm just saying, please, don't forget, get those surfaces nice and clean. Now, I've got choices to make here, because I could get my nacelles on, my saucer on, have the ship completed, then attach it to its base, and then get it upright. Because all I have to do underneath now is just simply take my my bundles from my 5 connector points on my board, my Ralph Tenaglia board, and I just have to color to color, right? Red to red, blue to blue, green to green, purple to purple, and on until I have everything hooked up. And there's an argument to be made why you want to do that before you put the saucer on and the nacelles on. It's because you can still come out the front here, and you can test all of your circuitry. However, you can't test your saucer unless you bring that up separately, and it's a real pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my saucer. I'm going to pull the wires through, and I'm going to attach my saucer, and I'm going to let it cure overnight so it's rock solid. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to figure out some kind of a jiggish kind of thing, because this base here, which is ready to go, I've got a couple of decisions to make in terms of whether I'm putting the rest of the beauty plates on it or leaving it like that. I don't know, but I may just leave it like this, actually, because I might want to put some decals on it. But anyway, underneath here, and let me get you close up on this, is the Love and Guts. Now, this is supposed to be here for speakers. You're supposed to put speakers in here. But once you put a metal sort of cap on the bottom of this base, if you choose to do it, and I'm going to, because I want to limit the amount of dust that I get in here, you're not going to get very much airflow. Now, this doesn't take a lot of heat if it's connected correctly, but if air is allowed to get in here through these vents, which I'm calling them, I think I've got a better shot at this sort of living harmoniously inside this base, because I don't know whether these boards were really designed to be in bases like this, even though Ralph has put them on stanchions, so they do stand up, and so air can circulate under it. And then I've got, of course, I've got my Phil Siegel special, which you can now get from Ralph. This is my phaser bank, and you could use it for thrusters too. This is my specially programmed for me phaser bank special, so that you can fire your phasers individually all the way around. Now, I'm not hooking it up that way because unfortunately mine came in too late, but I am going to use it to fire up the thrusters individually, because believe it or not, Ralph's actual board does not control the thrusters. There's one lead for a white LED, but there is no way to control the thrusters from this board yet. Hopefully that will change. So that is why I have this thing of beauty in here, which I'm going to now permanently install, and I will be good to go. Now, I have tested this board several times, and it works. But, as luck will have it, as you begin to sort of connect all these wires and bundle them together, there is a risk of a short. There just is. Take your time and try to make sure and think through everything that you're doing. Now, as I'm telling you this, I'm doing this raw. So by the time I get this saucer on and I get it glued and we come back and we'll see it on, that is when I'm going to be able to start actually connecting all of these wires here before I tip it over. So lots to do. Wish me luck. Come back when I've made some progress. Now, I may have changed my mind and hooked up the board first. I'm thinking about it. Believe it or not, it's a lot to think about, because when you have a permanent stand the way I do, and you have no way to plug and play it, which was one of the pros of the Trek Modeler setup, and you don't need Trek Modeler. I mean, there are guys who are using these plug and play systems, and they're cleverer than I am and can do this on their own, and I say bless all of you, because I think it's awesome that you can do that. But for the Mediocre Modelers Club, which I'm a proud member of, we can't. We don't have that luck. If you've seen any of my previous builds, especially when my dear friend Wayne Green over at World of Wayne sent me an Arduino board for my time machine build, and said, oh, it's just simple, push a few buttons, program it, and off you go. 14 Arduino boards later that I've blown up, I got it to work. But that's just me. So anyway, okay, so welcome back. Exciting times. We're dangerously close to the end of this build. Let's see what happens in the next segment. Let me give you my thought process, as frightening as it is. So, in thinking about getting the saucer on first, I realized that one of the challenges I was going to have was getting my beauty tube fed through correctly and getting this thing bolted to the this resin cast base. And I thought to myself, if I try to do that, having never done it before, with this saucer on its side, something catastrophic will go wrong. So I decided to get this up on its feet while it was in its lightest, simplest form. Now I've had one small minor catastrophe, and I use the word catastrophe, for the purposes of dramatic effect. You hope that you get this beauty pipe on and slide everything on and your nuts on and everything is fine. Well, it wasn't fine because I didn't leave myself enough thread and I didn't think to measure it, did I? So it had to all come off and I had to cut this beauty pipe, and what did I do in the process? Chewed it up. So I've got to tape this off and I got to paint it. But that's okay. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. And let me lift it up for you. Rock solid. Absolutely rock solid with no issues at all. And when I put my saucer on this, not going anywhere. This was a game changer for me. And this is why I started again. Because it needs to be sitting up proud so that you can enjoy not just the top and the sides, but I think the underneath of this beautiful thing as well. So I could not be happier. So now that this is on, I've got to go about the task of getting this base wired up completely, and then I can just focus on what happens up here, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to figure out some way to get this on its side in a very safe, comfortable manner, and we'll go about connecting up all the wires underneath. Now, you don't need to see me do that. It's 5 connector ponytails or tags. Each connector has 8 leads. Each lead on each connector is color coded. And so all I have to do now is wire up my color coded pigtails to the various connectors. I've got it all labeled, so it should go pretty quickly. So that will mean everything underneath here is connected, and I should only have to worry about what goes on up here. Now, that all sounds simple, doesn't it? But anything can go wrong at this point. No matter how many times you test this, you hope you don't have a short, you hope you haven't severed a wire, you hope everything is connected correctly. I've tested it and retested it, but I won't know. We won't know until this thing is all hooked up and I can plug it in and we'll test it. Okay, let's plow on. In this segment, we scratch our heads, we think, we panic. No, we don't panic. So, as you can see, she's on her base, and we've got some lights on. I mean, you can see obviously that the officer's deck, officer's lounge, is up and lit. You can see lights in the saucer. I've got one strobe out on this side. I have to figure out why. My bridge lights are looking pretty good. I've got a strobe that's out on top. I don't know why. My flood is perfect. It's hitting the registry beautifully. You can just see a little kiss of it there. I've got nice crisp lighting from the saucer, but so far that's it. I've not been able to turn on the rest of the lights yet. Now, my Bluetooth system is acting up a little bit. It's a little funky, and I don't know whether it's a signal issue or whether it's something else, but I am managing to get lights on, but it's just acting a little wonky. Now, before, when I tried audio, I lost power to the rest of the system, and I don't know why. But let me hit the audio clip for you. And by the way, when I did the audio clip test in a previous update on the redo, I got a bunch of comments about, well, those clips are wrong. They're from the wrong movie. It's like, guys, it's clips. It's like, okay, they're not perfect, but they're what I'm working with from Ralph. So just give me a break on the clips. Anyway, let me see if I can get some audio going here without killing the lights, because the last time I did this, it killed the lights. So we're doing this live just so that we can all sort of share in this experience together. My Logitech speakers are here on the bench. I've got them turned on. So let's see what happens when I hit audio. Well, that's pretty good.
Bridge to engineering. Begin full braking power.
Okay, that's a little frightening. So that's okay. So I'm not losing my audio, which is good. Curiously enough, there's no way to turn the audio clips off until they finish. I don't know why that's the way it is, but it's the way it is. So let me show you on this close-up camera you see, this is what I'm looking at. This is the Bluetooth system. And it's up and running, but it's been disconnecting, so it's a little wonky. But my nav lights are on. Everything is on. It's all looking a little crisp. It's looking pretty good. I haven't been able to get anything else on at the moment. And I don't know if that is a short somewhere or something is not connected. I'm just gonna have to go through this bit by bit and figure out what is not hooked up. That's the only way to do it. What I'll do is I'm gonna go through Ralph's instructions from connection to connection, and I'm gonna see what is connected and what isn't. But curiously, I wasn't able to get any of this on before, and now I'm able to get it all on. So I don't know. Maybe it's running through its cycle. Let me go back to intelligent light. You can't see it. Well, you can see it, but the thrusters are on the deflector shield, but I'm not able to get the deflector shield on. Deflector dish on. Now it's on. How interesting is this? Okay, let me turn this towards camera, and you can see it's on. There it is. It's on. Now, let's see if I go to warp effect, see if it changes. No. But I wasn't able to get this on before. So that's a start. It means that, it means that the board is waking up, but it's curious to me why things are not working just the way they should. I don't know yet. But I also have to be really careful when I'm messing with this with all the wires out. I don't want to short something. But clearly I'm getting messages now. The nav lights are on. See, now the impulse engines are on. Do you see? They've come on. So the board is coming to life, which is really interesting. And hopefully it's because you guys are bringing me some good luck here. But that's what this is all about. Okay, so let's see. Impulse engines. They go off. They went off. Okay. Strobe lights. Ah! Ha! Now, I'm seeing some action here. I've got thruster lights on this nacelle. And I might have them on this side too. Yep. So the thruster lights are on. This strobe is on. How interesting is that? So I'm getting there. Interior light. Let's see if I can get the secondary hull to come on. No. See? Everything popped off. So something is wired incorrectly. Did you see? It all went pop. So that's a bummer. Yeah. There's some definitely some cross wires here for sure. Okay, that's working. Nav lights are on. That's working. Warp effect is not working at the moment. Okay. Deflector dish is coming on. So let me go to interior light saucer. They're coming on. And let me go to intelligent light. Let's see, interior lights. Sorry guys, you're hanging while I'm doing this. See, I forget the cameras are on and you're there because I'm playing with this to see what is going on. Bridge light comes on. So, that's new. Let me show you that. The impulse crystal came on. And it's not blue. So what this is telling me is I've got some wires that are not connected. Obviously, something is not right, and I'm not sure what that is. But I'm definitely going to continue to research this. Neck lights went on. And it turned on everything except I've got a light here that's not on. Let me see if I can get you wide here and you can see. No, it's on this side and not on this side. So I've got a whole bunch of wackiness going on with definitely some crossed wires. So the board is talking to my Bluetooth system. I just need to sort of figure out if I can actually get this to speak to me correctly. So I've got some R&D to do here, but I wanted to just show you that it was up and running and things are progressing. So I'm happy with where I am, but I'm 20% there. I need to get 100% there, and I need to figure out if I can actually get 100% there. I also am noticing a few light leaks, but that's okay. We'll work on those. Okay, hopefully in the next segment, I'll have an update for you, or I'll just shut this update down so that you can see where I am today, and then just bring you another update as soon as I figured this out, because it could take a while, and there's other things I need to build and want to build. So I know it's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for me as well. But we'll pursue this. We'll see if we can't figure this out. I've been at this for several hours, and mixed results. But basically, the bottom line is. I've got some functionality issues. I've got some cross wires somewhere. I've got a chiller grill that isn't working. I've got some strobes that aren't working in the nacelles. The saucer is working perfectly. The neck is working perfectly. The arboretum lights are on. I can't get my shuttle bay lights on, and I can't get my hull lights on. So I'm disappointed, to say the least, but I'm going to continue to work on this behind the scenes. I'm a little burnt out on it, to be honest with you. It's frustrating. This model is really frustrating. So really, it's for me, it's a mixed result. I'm not going to give up. I've got to figure out why this isn't working. But it isn't working, so it's a drag, and it's going to require some thought here on what my next steps will be. But I need to take a break from it. I need to build something else. I need to move on and get my mojo back with this, because right now my head is really hurting from this, and a little bit of the disappointment. But I'm thrilled that I've got this far. I've got the basics set up together. I'm happy with the attention to detail on some of my newer things, my sensor bands, how the saucer ended up. Really happy with that. But and things like you can't see because I can't get the camera down there. But let me see what I can do here. Hold on a second. Let me just see if this is working. Yeah, this is working. So let me see if I can tip this to camera. Let me try this, and let me see if I can tip this up for you just a little bit without destroying my model, and we can see the photon torpedoes firing with their sound, which is kind of fun. So that's pretty cool. So that's working quite well. My registry light is working beautifully. Obviously, it's not, it's not dark enough in here. I mean, that's the thing with this kit. You gotta have all the lights off to really appreciate it. I don't want to sound negative, because I'm not trying to be. But anyway. Here I am sitting in the dark with my second redo with the Bluetooth lighting system. Now, a lot of you may say, why did you do Bluetooth? Why didn't you just do a basic kit? Well, you might be right. And maybe down the road I'll build it again and just not do anything fancy, just the basic lights. But it does require a tremendous amount of time and effort to put this kit together. Overall, it is a tough kit. It really is, and it's shown its ugly head to me a couple of times. But I will not give up. There will be an update later down the road, just to sort of let you know. A bunch of you asked me about the first kit. I gave it away. I gave it to a friend who wanted to hang it in his garage, so I let him do it. So I don't have it to compare to this one, but that's okay. All's fair in love and war. I'm pretty happy with her. For the most part, she looks good, but she's a little injured at the moment. We'll figure it out, and I will let you know at some point down the road how I do. So a little disappointing. On the nacelle front, interestingly enough, the thrusters are all on, except they're not on the saucer. I suspect I've got a grounding issue somewhere, and something isn't connected correctly. I may reach out to Ralph Tenaglia and get some thoughts from him about perhaps how to troubleshoot a little better. But there you go. Status report on the 1350 refit here at Spruver Studios, who are still struggling with this kit. It's a demon, but that's okay. For the most part, it'll look good parked next to its TOS brother or sister. And we'll continue to troubleshoot this. And as I said, I'll give you some updates. But anyway, as always, I wish all of you, please be safe, be well, build something, not this, anything but this. And I'll see you on the next show. Take care, everybody. Be well.